I ask you this every year. You've been kind enough I don't know how many years we've done this. It's our own tradition, unlike any other, where you come here and talk about the Miracle on Ice because it still lives forever as well, like it happened yesterday. But when you hear that, what do you think when you hear yourself on that day?
I'm in the third person. I'm watching from the outside in. Of course, I've seen it 1,000 times. I know what's coming. Yeah. We know what the video is going to show. But I'm kind of like, I'm enjoying it from the fans' perspective.
Yeah.
So outside looking in, I think a lot of the players do too. They take themselves outside the game. There's a brand new documentary that came out on Netflix, Rich.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. A lot of the reviews said you thought you knew everything about this because the story's been told many, many times over 4 decades. But they got some footage that you've never seen before. And they did a brilliant thing. They brought 14 of the guys back to Lake Placid about a year ago. And in some of the segments, they sat them on the bench in the arena, played a lot of the highlights for them, and then talked about their backstories going into the game and where the country was at that time. A lot of people know about it. I think the movie Miracle was terrific. It was more of a, theatrical.
Sure.
Had to take some literary license. HBO did a documentary back in about 2001 that was great. But this one is bringing you up to date on where these guys are, what that meant to their lives, and what it meant to the country at that time.
Miracle of the Boys of 80 is available now for streaming on Netflix. It was released the second to last day in January. Al Michaels approved. Back here on the Rich Eisen Show on our radio, along with Disney Plus, the ESPN app, and ESPN itself, with Al Michaels here. And so I just seeing the photograph of the 14 guys that Netflix got back together from the 1980 team is, gray-haired grandfathers, 46 years later now. You said it was shot last year, so I guess 45 years later. And what is it? What are the conversations like when you're chopping it up with these guys who are teenagers and college kids and ragtag bunch that took down the Soviets? What's that conversation like?
I think it changed everybody's life. I mean, the players can go through life, and if you say you played on that team, a lot of people don't believe them. They don't. Really? It's so funny. I ran into
I love that.
Dave Silk was one of the top players on the team, part of the 4 Boston University contingent. And so I ran into Silk maybe 10 years ago, and Dave said to me, I'll tell people that I played on that team. And some people say, oh, no, you didn't. He said, no. When Michael says Morrow up ahead to Silk, 5 seconds left in the game, do you believe in miracles? I'm Silk, as in Morrow up ahead to Silk.
I'm the Silk.
I'm Silk. I'm that guy.
See, your voice serves as his identification.
It does. Saying. I'll take it.
That is so funny.
Yeah. And Eruzione, of course, Mike's made an entire career out of that moment in time, and he's so funny. I mean, if he says he said if that puck is 6 inches to the right, he said I'm painting bridges. And I said to Mike, yeah, now they're naming bridges after you.
Yeah.
I mean, think about one moment in time, one split second, and an entire life has been changed. And Mike is the perfect guy to have gone out there for over 46 years. I mean, I think Bain Capital brought him to Malta to make a speech like 3 weeks ago.
That's great.
So it lives internationally, too.
I love it. And so what was Herb Brooks like?
Herb was a taskmaster. It's very well portrayed. They respected him tremendously. They feared him, but they did love him too. And everybody to a man basically says, hey, without him, this doesn't happen. But Herb, during the Olympics, Herb was very standoffish with the press, trying to keep the guys away. But my partner was Ken Dryden, who was the great goalie.
He just passed away.
Right, he just passed away suddenly, and we had no idea that was in the mix up until we heard about it. Kenny was my partner, and Herb Brooks had such great respect for Ken, who was a brilliant man, that we had access to Herb every other night. They play like on Tuesday night, Wednesday night off, Thursday play, Friday off, and Herb would come over to our hotel for a beer. Not because of me, but because of Kenny, but in the conversation. So I had a lot of access to Herb. And you could see, what he tried to do with this team. He made them probably the best conditioned team in the tournament. Even though the Soviets had trained 11 months a year, they were all professionals basically. But when you look at and you know that they were well conditioned. I think over the course of the Olympics, the U.S. outscored the opponent something like 16-3 in the third period. So when you look at that, especially in the last two games. Remember, they're trailing the Soviets 3-2 going into the third, outscore them 2-0, trailing Finland 2-1 at the end of the second. They lose that game, they don't win the gold medal, and that's the famous, Herb Brooks' speech before they go out onto the ice for the third period. If you lose this game, you'll take it to your blanking grave, which was perfect because had they lost that game, they would have taken that to their grave. Like, you beat the Soviets, you lost to Finland, you didn't win the gold medal? What the hell happened to you guys?
Mm-hmm.
So he knew how to push every right button, and it all worked magically.
Well, I mean, you know how NFL head coaches in your pre-broadcast meetings, knowing that this is off the record, even though it's on the record, will give you kind of a little heads up, little wink and a nod. Go, we got this guy. We have this team this weekend. You're going to be calling this game. We know we've got him. Did Herb ever say anything like that about the Soviets going in? Like never once said we've got this thing. Never.
No.
Okay.
Never once. No.
Man.
And in fact, there are some interviews, and you'll see them in that documentary where he says, "No, give them the gold." I think they interviewed him before the Olympics. No, they won the gold. So. That was
so. He was surprised by the win.
He had to be because the Soviets were the best team in the world,
right,
bar none.
And when they pulled Tretiak, were you?
That was very surprising, and nobody really seemed to know what happened. I mean, when we
it's like Malcolm Butler being
like Malcolm Butler, right? No, but I will tell you this: fast forward in 2014, I'm over in Sochi covering the Olympics on NBC.
Yeah.
And Tretiak was the head of the Soviet Olympic Committee.
Okay.
And I was dying to get an interview with him, and they kept saying, no, yet. And then all of a sudden, they said, no, he'll do an interview as long as he can bring an interpreter in. Fine. So he brings the interpreter in, and I do the interview with Tretiak. And he's going back and forth from Russian to English, right? When he wants to answer the question, and he knows he can get it out the way he wants to get it out. So I said... I asked him about that situation when he got pulled, and he said that the coach, Viktor Tikhonov, admitted to him at one point, biggest mistake I ever made. Wow. Biggest mistake I ever made. Yep, sure was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.